page 56.
Page 56, please join us.
Come, whoever you are, come, whoever you are, come, whoever you are, come, whoever you are, come, wanderer,
worshiper, lover of living.
it doesn't matter.
Ours is not a caravan of despair.
So come, wherever you are,
Come,
wherever you are, come, wherever you are, wherever you are, come, even if you have
broken your vow 1,000 times.
even if you've been
Waiting for a miracle.
So come, wherever you are,
Whoever you are, whoever you are,
beautiful, beautiful. I'm not even singing.
whoever you are.
Shuva, 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 Shuva,
Yet again come.
Shuva, Shuva. Any line you like. Shuva, Shuva, yet again come. Shuva, 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 yet again come. Whoever you are. Shuva, Shuva, yet again come.
Shuva, Shuva,
Yet again come. Shuva, 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 yet again come. Shuva, 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 yet again whoever you are, whoever you are, whoever you are.
Welcome to Jewish Gateway's Yom Kippur morning services. My name is Stephanie. I'm the new rabbi educator here and the director of family learning. We're also joined by Rabbi Bridget, our executive director and founder, and by Joel, our amazing song leader. Some of these for Joel right off the bat. Jewish Gateways is an open, come as you are Jewish community, a synagogue without walls. Our goal is to help people find Jewish community and Jewish connection, whoever you are. We welcome all. Before we start, there are some JCC logistics that we have to cover, so please bear with me as we run through these. The restrooms are up those stairs in the breezeway to your right. There are also some restrooms in the lobby. You can follow the signs. The nearest exits are located behind the tree where you came in, And right here at the back, this gate is closed, but it is unlocked. Those are our emergency exits. If you have any accessibility needs or questions, please find a JCC staff member, and they can offer assistance. And the JCC requires masks at all times, both inside and outside, except when eating, drinking, leading services for those under 2, and for those who cannot wear masks for medical reasons.
So all of you are eating and drinking today.
The last piece is, I think most of you everybody should have one of these wristbands. Can we see some wristbands? Fantastic. Please keep those wristbands on. They allow you to come and go from the JCC without having to check in each time. Wonderful. Thank you for sticking with me for those logistics. At the back of our space where you walked in, on the wall, we have a tree of life, an Eitz Chaim. The tree of life is a symbol of the Torah in Judaism because we believe the Torah is a living thing. It is something that should come alive. And what is decorating that tree of life right now are regrets folks have been writing, regrets from this year. I want to encourage you, if you have not yet, to add a regret to that wall. We think a lot about the regrets we have at this time of year. There's something different about the physicality of writing it down and sharing it with your community anonymously. It's an opportunity to see what you have in common, the regrets you share, and to feel heard as well. We're going to begin with a chance to get to know each other a little bit. Yom Kippur is a day that we do a lot of things differently to how we might usually. I can see a lot of folks are wearing white. We've already mentioned some people might be fasting from food and water today. So I thought it might be interesting to turn to somebody you don't know, introduce yourself, and share what you would normally be doing at 10:40 on a Wednesday morning. Just take a couple minutes to meet somebody you haven't met before. What would you normally be doing at this time? I want to invite folks to finish up their conversations. Maybe one more sentence, and then we'll come back together. I love how much conversation there is.
Folks, I want to share something with you, which is that if you're having a good time talking to each other, which I bet you are, and I just was, you have an opportunity to continue your conversation or to start a new one, because at the end of services, a lot of people hang out here, and at 1 o'clock we're going to have a really meaningful panel and discussion. So you could hang out a little and go to the panel and discussion, and you could have more time to chat. So just want to let you know it is not your last chance.
We're going to begin on page 10 with Matovu. The figure of Abraham exists in our tradition as a model of hospitality. Our tradition says he would sit in his tent looking for people passing by to give them food and water and rest. And we're told that his tent was actually open on all sides as a profound act of hospitality and welcoming. As we sit together under this open tent, I want to share that we enact this same value. Know that you are welcome here, all the parts of you, your whole self as you are. In our next prayer, Matovu, we share gratitude for the spaces we gather in, the tents we pray in, and for the sacred community we're together with.
Matovu, it's the morning. Matovu, bless us this morning. Oh, Halecha, let us enter Yaakov, our heritage. Mishkenotecha, we are searching, will you show us? Yisrael, we are Yisrael. Born to sing your praises in your holy, holy spaces. Matovu, bless the morning. Matovu, Matovu, it's the morning. Matovu, bless us this morning. Oh, Halecha, let us enter Yaakov, our heritage. Nishkenotecha, we are searching, will you show us? Yisrael, we are Yisrael. Born to sing your praises in your holy, holy spaces. Matovu, bless the morning. Matovu, born to sing your praises in your holy, holy spaces. Matovu, bless the morning. Matovu.
We move now to page 7 to sing in a couple different forms. What I'd say is probably the core theme of the high holidays: returning to the land of your soul, renewing our days, returning to take steps towards becoming the people we mean to be.
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Ah.
I'm going to be reading to you on page 9. First, a line from the Torah talking about one of the ancient rituals, which was done when the temple existed in Jerusalem as a way to mark Yom Kippur. But the goat on which the lot fell for Azazel shall be set alive before God to make atonement into the wilderness. I am writing this sitting on a hill in a wilderness somewhere in the United States of America. I am here for purification, I think, maybe rededication. I haven't spoken for days. I brought an instrument to make music with, a notebook to write in, a book. There are many animals here. It is a wild place. I am a guest in the wilderness. That is clear to me. I asked the goats, the horses, the brush rangers, the bottom dwellers, to allow me to squat on their ground, to pray here, to play my instrument. It was pretty, but it was not why I came. On the fourth day, this day, I began to ask for forgiveness. I sank deeper into silence, and an animal with somewhat elaborate horns wandered by and nibbled from a loaf of bread I carried with me. I spread a piece of the bread with peanut butter, and the animal signaled to me in some abstract trans-species way its approval. Then the animal spoke. "It's about forgiveness, isn't it?" the animal said. "Yes," I said, "it's about forgiveness." "Give me your burdens," the animal said. "I am a load-bearing animal. I am a yoked animal. Give up your burdens, and I will carry them into the wilderness." So I took my burdens, my self-consciousness, my separation, my isolation, my flight, fear, especially my fear, everything that separates me from God and all that I love the most. And I laid them on the shoulders of this animal. On the back of this beautiful yoked beast, I gave up my fear, and I watched as the animal disappeared into the hills. I lifted up my hands, looked up and said, to the trees, to the sky, to the stones, to the dirt especially, to the mud, "Is this the way it works?" From the distance I heard, "Yes, this is precisely the way it works." We turn now to page 11. Ask everybody to rise if you are able to. We're going to join together in the Baruch Hu, which is the three of us service leaders will call out to you, inviting you to bless, and then we will all sing together. We're ready to bless.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed.
The Hasidic mystic teacher Rabbi Nachman offered a model of prayer called hitbodedut. This is an individual, isolated prayer and an inward prayer. And he said the ideal way to do this prayer was outside in nature. that outside in nature is where our hearts and the prayers in our hearts most easily flowed. I invite you to join me as we read outdoors. Master of the universe, grant me the ability to be alone. May it be my custom to go outdoors each day among the trees and grass, among all growing things. And there may I be alone and enter into prayer, to talk with one whom I belong. May I express there everything in my heart, and may all the growing things of the field awake at my coming, to send the power of their life into the words of my prayer, so that my prayer and speech are made whole through the life and spirit of growing things which are made as one by their source. May they all be gathered into my prayers, and thus may I be worthy to open my heart in prayer, that I pour out like water the words of my heart before you.
And our teacher, Debbie Friedman of blessed memory, set these words to music some years ago and turned them into a song. After we sing this, I don't believe you have words. You do have words? Okay. Sing anyway. Or listen if you like. And we're going from there directly into an English meditation on Shema, and then we'll be saying Shema itself.
And those are on page 13.
You are the one, for this I pray, that I may have the strength to be alone, to see the world, to stand among the trees and all the living things, that I may stand alone and offer prayers and talk to you. You are the one to whom I do belong. And I'll sing my soul to you, and give you all that's in my heart. They used to call this Reb Nachman's love song to God. May all the foliage of the field, all grasses, trees, and grass, awaken at my coming, this I pray, and send their life into the world, my world of prayer, and so that my speech, my thoughts, and my prayers will be made whole, and through the spirit of all growing things. And we know that everything is one, because we know that everything is you. Are the one, for this I pray. I ask you, God, to hear my words that come out from my heart. I stand before you. I, like water, lift my hands to you in prayer. And grant me strength to stand alone. You are the one to whom I do belong. And I'll sing my soul to you, and give you all that's in my heart. You are the one, for this I pray, and I'll sing my soul to you. Listen, Israel, Adonai. Our God is one. Listen, Israel, Adonai, our God is one.
I told you before we'd move straight into the Shema, but that might have been a little confusing. We moved straight into an introduction to the Shema. And what I wanted to say is Joel is singing, "Listen, Israel, our God is one." And that may sound familiar to you a bit because it is really sort of a translation of the Shema. So I'm going to ask you to turn to page 13, where we have the Shema. And you'll see it written out in Hebrew in a way that looks different from the other Hebrew. And that's because this is how it looks in the Torah, with these special fancy letters. And what I wanted to point to is that Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, has this word twice, Adonai, and it stands for something very core. Adonai means my Lord, but that is not what the word is there. So sometimes I feel a little tricked, and I'm talking anyone did it on purpose, but until I really learned more, I think my Lord, that's, I don't know, that's a little weird. And then what I discovered is that is a substitution for God's name in the Torah. And God's name in the Torah is 4 Hebrew letters that create a word that is not a word that exists, that we don't know how to pronounce, and that seems to be something about beingness or was, is, will be, and there's so many other ways that people try to explain what that word means. So we have Adonai here, but I want you to understand that behind that is a mysterious force or concept or mystery, which is way, way, way more amazing and intriguing than my Lord. So anytime we say Adonai, you might want to just imagine what that might be. Beingness, was, is, will be, the potential for transformation, a mystery.
Listen, Israel, Adonai, our God is one. Listen, Israel, Adonai.
Now to the Viahafta right below, and Joel is going to get us going chanting, and anyone who wants to, please join in. And if you prefer, you can read the English right below the Hebrew.
Since we come with different singing traditions, I will start and then I'm going to back away from the mic. Sing your own tradition or make one up. We'll have what I like to call the holy cacophony of our hands.
Those words are from the Torah, and the way we were chanting just now is how the Torah was kept alive. It was passed down orally, and it's much easier to remember words if they're a song rather than just spoken. So the Torah was made into sort of a song, and one reason that people learn this piece of the V'ahavta differently is because it was created with a particular melody, but that does not mean that melody stayed the same for thousands of years all over the world. So there are different ways of chanting Torah in different places, but all of it is meant to keep us remembering and being able to pass it on to others.
We continue on page 15 with Nifamolta. Like Krishna, the V'ahavta, Nifamolta also comes directly from the Torah, the words from the Torah. It's a song sung by the Israelites as they leave Egypt and they leave slavery. And it's sung as a song of joy and a sigh of relief and as an expression of gratitude. As we join now together to sing it, I want to encourage you to sing with joy, with that sigh of relief, and knowing that you are welcome and that we are grateful that you're here.
In just a moment, we'll move to the silent prayer, the Amidah. And one of the reasons that's sort of in the middle of our service is that sometimes it's easier to open ourselves once we have been in community. And in fact, someone shared with me that this morning, that being in community, she was more able to open. And the Amidah is for each of us to offer either silently or it's fine to say it aloud quietly, and hopefully at the same time feel supported by the community. And before we move to the Amidah, we are going to listen to Joel sing us a song that is at the top of page 15. I don't know if it's exactly the same words, but they'll be similar. And the idea here is that each of us sings in our own way, as we heard before when we were chanting the V'ahavta. And all together, all those pieces create a song that connects with the entire universe.
And yes, the words are similar but not exact. Feel free to listen. Feel free still to sing along if you like. And there's a yada da 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 nigun part that's in the middle, which will start to begin with. So you can pick that up and sing along if you like. Yada da 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 da. Yada da 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 da. Yada da 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 da. Hey. Yada da 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 da. Yada da 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 da. Yada da 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 da. Hey. Yada da 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 da. Yada da 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 da. One who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself, and sings the song of her people, sings the song of her people. Ya-da-da-da-da-da-da, 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 hey, ya-da-da-da-da-da-da, 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 hey, there is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for highest perfection, hoping for highest perfection.
We move now to our personal prayers. There are some meditations or intentions, or in Hebrew, kavanot, on pages 17 and 18. You may want to read some of those. And then the prayer, especially for Yom Kippur morning, is on pages 23 and 24. I invite all who are comfortable doing so to rise and take whatever time you want. And if you're done, please be seated.
we sometimes call this silent. Feel free if you want to move your lips or whisper the words or speak them quietly, but whatever helps to move you into prayer space.
May the one who makes these bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes these bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes these bring peace down, bring peace down. Uyase, 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 Shalom. Uyase, 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 Shalom. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, Shalom. Itase, Shalom Aleichem. Itase, Shalom. Itase, Shalom Aleichem. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who bring peace down. May the one bring peace down. May the one bring peace down.
I just learned some great new hand motions from some folks back there who are doing maybe 1, 3 piece tap. I love it. I'm a person who thinks hand motions aren't only for kids. They're great in more way connecting to the song. We're now going to move into the prayer called Untitled Chapter. You don't need to look in your prayer books yet. I'll let you know when you are going to be looking it up. I want to introduce this because this is a prayer that can sometimes seem really arbitrary and cruel if it's understood in a way that I don't personally understand it, and I think there are various ways to understand it. This is the prayer in which we talk about who shall live and who shall die. And I know it can sound like that means that God is going to decide, but there's actually, the ending of the prayer says something quite different. It says that whatever it is that happens, our behavior and our choices will affect how we experience what happens. So I want to make sure that that's clear so you can participate in this prayer knowing that it's not that somebody is standing out there deciding, but it's that we are making our choices. And arbitrary things happen. We can't predict them always, and we can't control other people, so we have our own choices to focus on. Joel is going to sing to us in the Hebrew the beginning of this prayer. It's very dramatic. And the Hebrew he's going to be singing to us means, "Let us proclaim the power, might, and holiness of this day. For it is full of awe and dread. And on this day your sovereignty is established in loving kindness and truth."
Untane Tokef Kedushat Hayom Ki Hunora Ayom Ugo Timase Malchutecha Ve'yikon Bechesed Kisecha V'teshev Alav V'teshev Alav ותשב עליו
On page 26, let's read together. So much
Happen in a year. In a year's time, the world can be irrevocably shattered, or it can be born anew. And now we stand together to instill the resonance of a year now past. Now we stand together, looking out with fear and hope into a year stretching out limitlessly for us. A book yet to be written. Will it be a year of curse or a year of blessing, of wounding or of healing? Though we cannot know the answer, it is all we can do to send out our prayer, our fears, our hopes, our yearning. May the dreams we dare to dream be written into the book of our lives, and may it be an ongoing tale of blessing, wholeness, and peace.
And now at the top of page 27, the very first line of Hebrew in Rosh Hashanah, it is recorded, and on Yom Kippur, it is sealed. What this says is sort of rhetorical because it's saying that these are the 10 days from Rosh Hashanah until Yom Kippur that we have to make tshuva, to make changes. And it's sort of an artificial deadline. Like if you know that you're always late, then you plan to get there half an hour early, and then maybe you'll be on time. So this really does not mean that it is sealed in Yom Kippur. It's one of our traditions ways of saying, do it, do it, do it. But then after Yom Kippur, well, you could still do it if you didn't do it then. So trying to deal with the reality of being human and support us and urge us all at the same time. Please join in with Joel.
We even in the tradition have an extension. Just like with your taxes, just like with your paper due dates. We say this, and then they say, you know what? You got till the last day of Sukkot. But the main message is exactly what Rabbi Richard said. We want now to feel the urgency because we have this desire, this pull to avoid, to go do other more fun things. So let's feel a little bit of urgency as we sing this. Rosh Hashanah Yikatevu Yom Kippur Yom Kippur Yehatemu Rosh Hashanah Yikatevu Yom Kippur Yom Kippur
And I'm going to read to you now at the bottom of page 26. How many shall pass away, and how many shall be born? Who shall live, and who shall die? Who in the fullness of years, and who before their time? Who by fire, and who by water? Who by the sword, and who by beast? Who by hunger, and who by thirst? Who by earthquake, and who by plague? Who by strangling, and who by stoning? Who shall be at rest, and who shall be restless? Who shall be calm, and who shall be distraught? Who shall be serene, and who shall be tormented? Who shall be poor, and who shall be rich? Who shall be brought low, and who uplifted?
Rosh Hashanah Yikatevu Yom Kippur Yom Kippur Yehatemu Rosh Hashanah Yikatevu Yom Kippur Yom Kippur Yehatemu.
And on page 27, I'm now going to read to you the words I spoke about as we started this prayer. Utshuva, utfilah, utzedakah, ma'avirin, et roa hagizara, which means like turning, tshuva, reflection, tfilah, generosity, tzedakah, can transform the harshness of the decree. In other words, our choices to live by turning to our best selves through prayer or reflection and through generosity, and tzedakah, which is translated here as generosity, also can just be shortened a little bit, tzedek, which means justice. Our choices to live in those ways can make whatever harshness comes to us in the new year be experienced differently by us. Let's read that together in English. But turning, reflection, and generosity can transform the harshness of the decree. And it doesn't say there anything about the positive things that may happen, but hopefully we will not experience harsh decrees, but we never know. I am going to invite Elise up now to open the ark, and in a moment the answer will rise. And I hope this is not too embarrassing for you, Elise. I don't mean opening the ark anymore. I'm about to say. Elise is one of the teachers in our family learning program called Drawing Together, and I think she's our longest time teacher, and she's amazing. The core of Judaism often is the quality of one's teachers. And we are so lucky in Growing Together to have really excellent teachers. So I just want to honor them.
We rise while the ark is open, and we'll be standing now traditionally for quite a while, right through until the Torah service. I want to encourage folks to listen to their bodies. While there's a custom that we stand, if you are not able, if you are not comfortable, please sit and stand and serve. On page 27, we'll soon begin Shamnu. And Shamnu is a confession. It's a confession organized in an alphabetic acrostic of the Hebrew alphabet. And this style of liturgy is a way of capturing everything. It's an A to Z, so to speak, of things we may have done wrong this year, mistakes we may have made. It's a way of acknowledging that there are countless nuanced, complicated mistakes we could have made. As we say these words, we are expressing shared responsibility, and we're partaking in shared forgiveness. Joel commented last night that there are words and actions that can be for some a doorway and some a barrier. As we read Shamnu, we have the custom of striking our chests, and I want to acknowledge the violence of that act. While for some, beating or laying your hand on your chest may feel like the embodiment of sadness or regret, I encourage you to refrain from it if the action feels triggering, violent, or wrong. I will read the paragraphs at Shamnu, and then Joel will do the reading.
Sure. We'll sing together.
Oh, we'll sing together. Okay.
Okay.
I'm still learning.
Yeah,
We all are.
We all are, and we'll never stop.
Together.
We'll never stop. Another tradition. So we are in the middle of page 27. Oh, no, we're not.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're reading, yes.
I think we figured it out. It may not be an easy task to confront our feelings and actions, still more daunting to name them, perhaps most difficult to speak them. Now we will speak of and chant them together. Let us be bold enough to see, humble enough to feel, and daring enough to turn.
And to learn.
And to learn.
Learning. Ay, 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 Ashamnu, Paganu, Gazalnu, Divarnu Dofi, ay, 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 Ha'evinu, V'hirshanu, Zanu, Chamasnu, Tafalnu Sheker, ay, 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 Yatsnu Ra, Izalnu, Latsnu, Maranu, Niaznu, Saranu, Avinu, Pashanu, Saranu, Kishinu Orev, ay, 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 Rashamnu, Shichatnu, Tihavnu, Tahinu, Titanu.
I will now read the Hebrew, each Hebrew word, and I invite you to respond in English. Ashamnu.
We have sinned against others.
Bagadnu.
We have betrayed people who trusted us.
Gazalnu.
We have stolen people's money, time, or friendship.
Divarnu Dofi.
We have used words to mislead, create barriers, and as weapons.
Ha'evinu.
Our actions have led others to evil.
V'hishanu.
We have encouraged others to do evil.
Zadu.
We have refused to admit we could be wrong.
Hamasnu.
We have manipulated others.
Tafalnu Sheker.
We have
Preferred to believe lies rather than accept the truth.
Ya'atznu Ra.
We
We
have
have bad examples to others.
Kizalnu.
We have lied.
Latsnu.
we
We
have
made light of the pain of others.
Maradnu.
We have created unnecessary strife.
Yatsnu.
We have dishonored God in the ways of our lives.
Saranu.
We have lived as though there were no spiritual element in our lives.
Avinu.
We have done what we know to be wrong to get what we want.
Ashanu.
We have ignored the pain of others.
Saranu.
we have oppressed.
Kishinu Oreh.
We have persistently done deeds that hurt ourselves and others.
Rashanu.
We have been violent.
Shechatanu.
We have let our impulses rule our lives.
Kiavnu.
We have degraded ourselves.
Ta'inu.
We
We
have
have gone astray.
Titanu.
We have led others astray.
And now I want to share with you some of the regrets people in our community have been posting. And this is a reminder that everything in the Ashamnu is something a person thought of and shared. So it's not only words in a prayer. I regret not being in the moment more. I regret not taking better care of myself and the impact it has on those around me, especially my loved ones. I regret not being closer with my children and mother in this past year. I should have taken more time for them. I was unkind to myself with constant negative self-thoughts. I wish I could have said my truth instead of expressing it in a passive-aggressive act. We now move to page 28. Actually, we are on page 28. Hit is one form of wrongdoing, missing the mark. meaning to do the right thing, but not managing to. So let's read together this first paragraph with questions about some of the ways we may have missed the mark. Have we made time for ourselves?
Have we abused our health? Have we let our fears turn into anger instead of facing our fears? Have we thought we were too weak to stand up to bullies? Have we failed to listen to voices telling us unpleasant truths?
Forgive us, return us, grant us life anew.
Have we made time for those who need us? Please join me.
Have we talked about others' failings behind their backs instead of face to face? Have we prevented others from showing their strengths? Are we clinging to grudges?
Forgive us, return us, grant us life anew.
I'm going to read a few regrets to you before we continue at the top of page 29. I regret writing the same regrets every week.
Shikoa, whoever wrote that.
I regret suffering alone instead of reaching out and asking for help from people I know would always be there for me. I regret not calling my friends and family, especially when they were in difficulties. I regret being quick to judge or assume malintent. I regret pushing away people that care for me, and seeking those who don't. Let's continue at the top of page 29. Have we closed our ears to the poor, our hearts, our pocketbooks?
Have we forgiven in others what we condemn in Jews? Have we forgiven in Jews what we condemn in others? Have we polluted our environment? Have we stood up publicly for our principles?
For all of these, we ask one thing of you. Forgive us, return us, grant us life anew. Sing
vanenu. Binu malkenu, kenenu vanenu, kien banu masim. Aseimanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseimanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu.
Here on the bottom of page 29. Our Father, our King.
Father, our King, teach us how to make this year a new beginning. Our Mother, our Queen, teach us how to grow from the harshness of life. Our source and our destiny, teach us to accept what we are powerless to change. Our guide and our truth, teach us to change what must be changed.
Our Father, our King, teach us how to face disease and death. Our Mother, our Queen, teach us how to enjoy the gifts of life. Our source and our destiny, teach us how to make peace with our enemies. Our guide and our truth, teach us how we can best embrace our heritage.
Our Father of life, please hear us and give us your grace. O guide deep within us, O hear us and give us compassion and mercy and peace. O guide us through your grace, justice and mercy to all. O guide us and teach us, grant justice and mercy, we shall be free once again.
Open paragraph at the top of page 30, and I read the second paragraph. Our Father, our King, teach us how we can be better citizens. Our Mother, our Queen, help us atone for our wrongdoings. Our source and our destiny, let us return to you wholly and completely. Our guide and our truth, teach us how to help those who are ill.
Our Father, our King, teach us how to work for freedom for all. Our Mother, our Queen, help us find our place in your universe. Our source and our destiny, help us learn how to be more loving. Our guide and our truth, help us create a new
Imanu tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu malkeinu, chonenu v'anenu. Avinu malkeinu, chonenu v'anenu, ki ein banu ma'asim.
We continue on page 31 of the Ark of Compassion. The 13 attributes of mercy are words that come from the Torah, a description of God after God shows mercy to the Israelites. Joe will lead us first in the Hebrew, then English, and then Hebrew again.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Le'Hanun, Erech Habayim, Berach Chesed Ve'emet, Noser Chesed La'alafim, Noser Avon V'Fesha, V'Chata'ah V'Nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, lifting guilt and mistakes, and making us free. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum V'Hanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rach Chesed V'Emet, Notzer Chesed La'alafim, Notzer Avon V'Fesha, V'Chata V'Nakeh.
I want to invite Jared up to help take the Torah out of the ark. On Rosh Hashanah morning, I spoke about messengers and ways we could be messengers or might experience messengers. Gary is our Torah messenger. We borrow our Torah from the ritual library of the San Francisco Jewish Community Center, and every year he gets our Torah and brings our Torah back safely. So we're very grateful for our Torah messenger. We're now going to carry the Torah throughout the congregation, and our tradition is to invite anyone who'd like to carry the Torah. We'll stop and let you get settled. It's not very heavy. It's kind of a small Torah. It ain't heavy, it's our Torah. And I especially encourage someone who has not had a chance to do that yet.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael 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 Chai. Am Yisrael Chai, Yisrael Chai, Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai, Yisrael Chai, Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai. Yisrael Chai, Yisrael Chai, Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai.
Let's watch out for
Od
those
Avinu,
chords.
Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, You're not afraid of standing up there.
The reason we stand up, there is a logic to it, is for our confession. Confession may sound like it's only for Catholics, but actually what we're just doing is confession, Jewish confession, which we do communally. And we can also, of course, do ourselves. And we also stand when the ark is open and when the Torah is being carried around to honor the Torah. I would like to ask, let's see here, just finding my place. Okay, got it. Katie, can you come up and help address the bar?
If you're called up to undress, and Katie may know this, but this is not your fault. There is one of the two handles on the top of the Torah has come loose, so it's going to come off as we open this up. But don't be worried. Rabbi Bridget's on it, so she knows all about it. If it comes off, it comes off. Rabbi, I don't know if you know this, and I don't. Someone asked us in the Torah service whether we know the origins and the story of this particular Torah scroll. I don't know if you know anything about it.
I don't.
Okay. Comes to us in the hands of Gary.
I can tell you what it says here. It's with gratitude to the Meckler family, who provided this Torah to the JCCFSF for communal use. And I can see why it needs to be glued again, because Torah, they have two Torahs and they're kept very busy being lent out to various places. So I'm going to say a few words about our Torah reading before we go ahead and listen. The beginning of this Torah portion calls to all of us, saying everybody who is here and everyone who is not here, men, women, children, whoever you are. And this
Whoever
is,
you are.
right, come whoever you are, right. And this is Moses speaking to the people, quoting God as Moses, what's it?
I think the yod is
Yod.
I'm guessing it's still in the backpack. I'll go get it.
Okay, go for it. The yod means hand or finger, and the yod is what we use to follow along in the Torah so we don't touch it.
And this one happens to be very special yod, and Rabbi Bridget can tell you about that if she wants.
So anyway, this is Moses speaking to the people, because Moses knows he's going to die before the people cross the Jordan River and go into the land of Israel, which is where they've been wandering to for the past 40 years after getting free from slavery. And so this is Moses saying, here are the things that are really important. Everybody pay attention, and you can do them. So I want to ask you to especially pay attention to a particular verse. It's a very famous verse. And the translation is, I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day. I have put before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life so you and your offspring may live. It's pretty dramatic. And I want to call to your attention that God is calling all existence as the witness. Heaven and earth. So this is an enormous command. Heaven and earth put before us this question: how will you choose life? And we might be thinking, in this year, what is going on in the heavens, what is going on the earth, including among people? How can we choose life so that we and people in the future can live? So that's what I want to ask you about once we listen to the Torah reading, to really focus on that key question. And we will now, as soon as Joel comes back, read from the Torah. He's going to chant the Torah, which, as I said, is the traditional way it was passed down. And as he chants, I'm going to translate into English so you understand what's being said. And before we read from the Torah, I want to invite everyone who'd like to come up to join in the blessings before the Torah reading, which are in your prayer book. And we'll have a couple copies up here if you don't bring your prayer book, or you can bring yours. I especially encourage anybody who has not looked in a Torah before. It's very cool to look in. Or even if you've looked in a Torah many, many times, it's still cool to look in this Torah. So please, everybody who wants to come up, kids are also welcome. It ain't heavy, it's our Torah. Come on, folks.
Oh, the thing I went all the way inside to get is right here.
We're going to be on page 31. Anybody else want to come up? There's space over here. Anybody else? All right. All right. So I'm going to invite Joel.
I'm almost there. I didn't realize I didn't have to go inside to get it.
Joel is going to come and make sure we're in the right place, and then we're going to offer the blessings.
And I'm going to move the microphone so our folks on the live stream can hear. So Lindsay, I'm going to come right back to you. This rickety nightstand. Right where I left it, huh? And then, forgive me, I'm going to scan. Oh, look, there it is.
There it is. Baruch Hu Adonai HaBarach. Baruch Adonai HaBarach.
ניצבים היום כולכם לפני אדוני אלוהיכם.
You stand, all of you, before Adonai, your God.
ראשיכם, שבטיכם, זקניכם ושוטריכם, כל איש ישראל.
The heads of your tribes, your elders, your officers, every person among the people of Israel.
טפכם, נשיכם, וגרך, אשר בקרב מחנך, מחוטב עציך, עד שואב מימיך.
Children, women, strangers who are here with us, from the people who bring wood to the people who draw water. Everybody who is entered into this covenant.
לעוברך בברית אדוני אלוהיך ובעלתו אשר אדוני אלוהיך כורת עמך היום.
You're entering into this covenant and swearing to it, this covenant that God makes with us today.
למען הקים אותך היום, למען הקים אותך היום לא לעם, והוא יהיה לך לאלוהים כאשר דיבר לך.
And this covenant means that God will be your God and you will be God's people, as was spoken to you.
וכאשר נשבע לאבותיך, לאברהם, ליצחק וליעקב.
As was promised to your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
ולא איתכם לבדכם, אנוכי כורת את הברית הזאת ואת העלה הזאת.
And I, God, make this covenant not only with those of you who are here today.
כי את אשר ישנו פה עמנו עומד פה, כי את אשר ישנו פה עמנו עומד היום לפני אדוני אלוהינו, ואת אשר איננו פה עמנו היום.
This covenant,
No, hold it for.
okay. So this covenant is also with all of those who are not here today. So in other words, this is God making a covenant with all the future people who become part of the people of Israel. So spiritually, we were present for that moment.
כי המצווה הזאת אשר אנוכי מצווך היום לא נפלאתי ממך ולא רחוקה היא.
This mitzvah, this obligation that I give to you today, it is not too wondrous, meaning not too hard. It is really for real people. You do not have to say, I need to go far away and bring it to me.
לא בשמיים היא לאמור כי יעלה לנו השמיימה ויקפה לנו וישמיענו אותך ונעשנה.
It's not a mitzvah that you have to say, who's going to go up the sky and get it for us and bring it to us so we can do it?
ולא מעבר לים היא לאמור, מי יעבור לנו אל עבר הים, ויתקע לנו, וישמיענו אותך, ונעשנה.
And it's not a mitzvah that you would have to say, who is going to go across the sea and get it and bring it back for us so we can do it? It is right here.
כי קרוב אליך הדבר מאוד, בפיך ובלבבך לעשותו.
It is here in our mouths and our hearts, and we can do it.
ראה נתתי לפניך היום את החיים ואת הטוב ואת המוות ואת הרע.
I place before you today life and goodness, death and evil.
אשר אנוכי מצווך היום. לאהבה את אדוני אלוהיך, ללכת בדרכיו ולשמור מצוותיו וחוקותיו ומשפטיו.
And I tell you today to love Adonai, your God, to walk in God's ways and keep God's mitzvot and teachings.
וחיית ורבית וברכך אדוני אלוהיך בארץ אשר אתה בשמה לרשתה.
And if you do these things, you will increase and be blessed in the land that God is giving you.
ואם יפנה לבבך ולא תשמע ונידחת והשתחווית לאלוהים אחרים ועבדתם.
But if you turn away and you worship other gods or worship idols,
הגדתי לכם היום כי אבוד תאבדון לא תאריכון ימים על האדמה אשר אתה ושם אשר אתה עובר את הירדן לבוא שמה לרשתה.
so if you do these things that are wrong, you will not long endure on this land that God is giving you as an inheritance.
העידותי בכם היום את השמיים ואת הארץ, החיים והמוות נתתי לפניך, הברכה והקללה.
I put before you today, I call the heavens and the earth as witness before you today. Choose, whoops, can you show me here? Okay, and I place before you life and death. I place before you blessing and curse.
ובחרת בחיים למען תחיה אתה וזרעך.
Choose life that you and your offspring may live.
לאהבה את אדוני אלוהיך, לשמוע בקולו ולדבק בו.
And love Adonai, your God, and listen to God's word and be close to God.
כי הוא חייך ואורך ימיך לשבת על האדמה אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותיך לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב לתת להם.
And that will mean life and length of days on this land that Adonai is giving you, that Adonai gave your ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The blessing after the reading is on page 32. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah tenet, v'chayei olam natav b'tocheinu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen. Thanks everybody for coming out. So the question, well, actually it wasn't a question, it was a commandment. Choose life. The earth and the skies, the heavens and the earth are witnesses today. How are you going to choose life so you and those in the future may live? And I just want to open this up and say, if the entire cosmos is our witness, how are we going to respond to choose life? And it doesn't have to be an enormous answer. It can be one specific thing that occurs to you. Anybody have any thoughts? If so, you can raise your hand. And if no one has any thoughts yet, I will sharpen the question a little more. But I want to give you a little room so you might be able to answer it as you choose.
Recycle things properly.
Recycle things properly.
Properly being the operative word there, yes.
Are you one of those people who can't stand it, like me? When you look at the recycling, there's a whole pile of all mixed stuff together.
Yeah, we need to preserve the earth.
Yeah. I'm going to pass this to you, Daphne.
Thank you. I hate plastic and I really do try to not use it.
Donate to causes but have time, you don't.
So donate to causes that have time, you don't. In other words, you can give time or you can give money, and the causes need money.
Show up and be present.
Show up.
Show up and be present.
They say that's 90% of life right there, right?
And if someone has something small and specific, you know, these don't all have to be enormous. Yeah. Live in the moment. What are the earth and heavens perhaps calling upon you to do? Yeah. Coming up front.
Vote.
Where's one word interesting answer for us?
Early and often.
Early and often, Joel says.
Like your rich depend on it. Dance and sing.
Thank you. Go vote and dance and sing.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Dance to the voting booth. And in line.
Imagine a post-capitalist world.
Imagine a post-capitalist world.
A friend of mine, in response to this question, decided to go on antidepressants.
Yeah.
So choose life by taking care of yourself.
Yep.
Oh, there's a hand back there. I'm heading on back.
Enjoy yourself and have fun.
Amen.
Plant a tree. Enjoy yourself and have fun and plant a tree.
Eat nourishing food. Vegetables.
Eat nourishing food. Vegetables. Work against us versus them thinking.
Manifest the godly qualities in the arc of compassion at the top of page 31.
Some say that God is a verb. I think maybe this is originally Rabbi Harold Schulweis. That it's not about God, do you believe in God, or what do you think God is? It's how are you acting in godly ways? Anybody else? This is so interesting.
I see a hand in the back on the grass.
Okay.
Surround yourself with people that care about you.
Surround yourself with people that care about you.
One or two more. Jim.
Be kind and loving to all those that serve us, that remove our rubbish, that deliver us our groceries in the grocery store, etc.
Amen. That's special.
One more.
Seek facts.
Aha.
Seek facts. I think that was a great collection.
Not alternative facts?
We'll talk later, John. Let's see here. I want to call up Scott to help address the Torah. And I'm going to let you know that after that, Rabbi Steph is going to be moving us to the prayer for you.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. There we go. Unfortunately, we can't. He just has to go underneath.
Actually, it's
It's a process. It's probably done in circles. Really good. Yes, I will untrap.
In a moment, Joel will read us in the Mishabara, the prayer for healing on page 32. Before that, I'll walk through the aisles and listen for names of anyone in need of healing. The act of sharing names out loud is an act of sharing the heaviness we silently carry in our hearts. I invite you to share with the community knowing that you are held and joined in prayer and hope. And sharing names lighten the heaviness in your heart as we carry the burden with you. I'll make my way around the aisle, stand
Together, this is the top of the page.
Berak Imotenu Mikor Habraha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Berak Imotenu Mikor Habraha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We're going to now put the Torah away and then move into our closing prayers. And Suzanne, I'm going to invite you up to put the Torah away. And please rise when the ark is open. Bottom of page 34, we'll read together in the English, and then join Joel in the Hebrew. It is up to us to hallow creation, to respond to life, the fullness of our lives. It is
Koreim, Umishtachavim U'olim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kakatsu b'Toratecha, Adonai Himno, Le'olam Va'ed, Le'ne'eman, V'yarach Adonai, Le'melech al kol ha'aretz, V'yom hahu, V'yom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo, U'shemo,
Please be seated. Again, make a few brief announcements, and a community member is also going to make a few brief announcements. Then we are going to move to Kaddish, the prayer of remembering those who have lost. And first announcement I want to make is that very shortly after this service ends, at 1 o'clock, we're going to have a panel and a discussion. Right in here, we'll just move the chairs into sort of a circle. And 4 people from our community are going to be answering the question, how can Jewish tradition and community help us through these challenging times? So we're going to listen to each of their answers, and then we're going to open up for discussion with them and Rabbi Steph and me, and I think Joel. We'll see what Joel's doing. If he's not here, that's okay too.
Okay.
So I invite you to stay here or to come back in a short while for that. That'll be from 1 until 2:30. We have afternoon services that begin at 4:30. We'll have a healing service, Yizkor, a memorial service, and then a Ne'ilah or closing service. And it's not too late to put up there your regrets. And then the last thing I want to say is that we have a lot of classes and discussions and all kinds of activities starting up shortly after our holidays. So I encourage you, if you didn't already, to get the list of activities. It's 3 pages. And if you didn't get a copy yet, you can get them on the table back there and look and see if there's something that interests you. Robin.
Oh, someone's calling you.
It's also not too late to bring donations to our box back there for shelter for youth in Berkeley, toothpaste, shampoo, hair conditioner, body lotion, body wash, men's underwear, women's underwear, and socks. All right. Just stick it up real quick.
Real, about an inch from your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. I'm Robin Blum.
1 inch.
Half an inch.
Okay.
There you go. Isn't that much better? Okay.
Yes, I guess. My name is Robin Blum, and as a member of the Jewish Gateways community, I'm here to welcome you today and make a few of the announcements that Rabbi Bridget didn't already say and request. First, I want to thank you all for joining Jewish Gateways for this Yom Kippur service, or this part morning, under this lovely big white tent and on Zoom. I know some of you are out there. A huge thanks to Rabbi Bridget, Rabbi Stephanie, and Joel, and our backup singers, who were fabulous.
The Supremes, we call
Oh
them.
my goodness. And those of you who weren't here last night.
The Gateways, the Gateways.
Yes. Scott and his daughter were really inspiring. Thank you.
And Cheryl.
And Cheryl.
Cheryl, yes. So thank you. For me, the three of all of you, your explanations, your anecdotes, your songs help make Jewish religion accessible and relevant in today's world. Also, a very important thank you to the many volunteers that have contributed in so many ways to make these community high holiday services a reality. Without all your efforts, it wouldn't be possible. Finally, I am full of gratitude, as I know so many of you are, to have the choice this year to be part of services here in person, or as I was last night on Zoom. I first started coming here to High Holiday services at Jewish Gateways at least 8 years ago, having gone to a more traditional synagogue services most of my life. One of the things I have been particularly grateful for is that these services are available to anyone in the community. There have been times, including this morning, when at the last minute I've been able to bring my siblings, my children, or my grandchildren to services, and all have been warmly welcomed. At any other congregations that I know of, this wouldn't be able to happen. This year, I know, I'm gonna get it there.
This is, yeah, no, you need an
This year, I was particularly fortunate to be able to attend Rosh Hashanah services with my 3 grandchildren, and this morning, children's services with one of my grandsons. I want to personally thank Rabbi Steph, who recently joined Jewish Gateways as our rabbi educator, for the engaging children's service. The drash Rabbi Steph told was so sweet. It kept the interest of both children and adults and got to the heart of the holiday, as it also did your story last night that you told. In addition, following the children's services, the older children, including my oldest grandson, were invited to come up, open the ark, and see and ask questions about it. This was exciting for them. So thank you, Rabbi Steph. Welcome, and I look forward to more of your stories. Well, the holidays are almost over. As Rabbi Bridget said, please make your donations to, if you're going home and have time, to Yay, the homeless shelter. I just brought my donation in this morning, and there was plenty of room left in the barrel. I also want to...
Human 2.0s will have 3 hands.
Okay, over there. This is the flyer that Rabbi Bridget was referring to. If you haven't already read through it, there's so many new and continuing opportunities for both adults and families. I've been part of the Wednesday night Musar group for about 4 years now, and it's been an important addition to my life. If you haven't heard of Musar before, it's a study and discussion group that meets twice a week. It's gained in popularity over the last number of years, and there are groups all over the world. At Jewish Gateways, our groups are led by Rabbi Bridget and currently meet online. Each session we learn about and discuss different ethical or soul traits. Compassion, patience, and gratitude are 3 of those traits that I particularly think about this year. Hopefully they'll lead us each to be a better person. There's still openings if you're interested. Some of the classes meet outdoors, others indoors, and still others on Zoom. We have traditional classes like the Torah study and introduction to the Jewish experience, and there'll be a new discussion group, the one that I think Rabbi Bridget might have mentioned earlier, that's going to be talking similarly to the panel that's going to talk this afternoon about contemporary issues from a Jewish perspective, such as abortion, anti-Semitism, and gender identity. And starting back up next week will be the Racial and Climate Justice Circle, started by Adrienne Bank, one of the founders of Jewish Gateways, along with Rabbi Bridget, and last night she spoke eloquently about her program and how important it is and how important Jewish Gateways is. I've attended a few of the sessions on Zoom, and the breadth of information that they share is amazing. Also available, we have lots of opportunities just to make friends, schmooze, and have fun, including the salon, the coffee and conversation group. There's a Jewish book club. There's a men's group, a women's group. We have a salon where we share skills and interests in the arts. Last month, I led a group of us online reading our town, one of my favorite plays, and 2 of our participants were actually professional actors, and it was so much fun. They made the rest of us feel like real actors. and then, of course, our family programming led by Rabbi Steph. Growing Together is for children and families, the children 5 to about 12. And then we also have holiday celebrations. The next one will be Sukkot, just this Sunday at the JCC. And finally, the high holidays are the time we ask for your donations. Providing all of these experiences does not come without a cost. And because Jewish Gateways does not collect dues and services are not supported by the JCC or the Jewish Federation, we rely entirely on donations to cover expenses of holding these services and classes and events. If you haven't already given, please give and give generously. And if you have already given and are able, please consider giving again. As with forgiveness, as rabbis and Joel mentioned earlier, there's no strict timelines on when we give. We keep on giving.
You can give every day of the year if you want. It won't stop you.
You can give the envelope attached to the, we have envelopes that are pre-addressed. We can just take a check in the boxes there. You can give on Venmo. You can give online. Thank you again.
Yashkoach.
Thank you, Robin.
Sometime.
Robin mentioned that there are openings in the Musar group. We have a Wednesday group and a Tuesday group. There are openings in the Tuesday group. And she said it meets twice a month. Excuse me, week, it actually meets twice a month. So anybody who's interested, feel free to talk to me. We are now going to say the Kaddish, and because I want to make sure that we have enough time so that we can get up and stretch before our 1 o'clock panel and discussion, I'm going to ask that rather than walking around, all those who have names to share, please rise and go ahead and just share those names and just speak them out.
Gerald and Keith Silver.
If it is your tradition to rise for Kaddish, this is the time to do that. Some people rise only if they're remembering a particular person or people. Other people always rise, so whatever is your choice. They're at pages 35 and 36. And the parts in bold are for everyone to join in, so even those who are not remembering a particular person can feel supported by all of us.
Amen. Amen. Yehei Shemech Rabba Mevarach Le'Hamud Amen Shemayah Parach.
Yitfarach v'yishtabach v'yitkamar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shnei v'yikusham riku le'ela min ovir kata v'shirata tushbekata v'nechemata da'amiram v'yalma v'yiru Amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya B'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom v'roma u'yachaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshrei Terel v'imru Amen. We're going to close now with the song that's on page 56. Feel free to be seated. Joel and Rabbi Steph and I are going to walk out, and then you're welcome to walk out and say hi to us or to stroll around or do whatever you feel like. And we will be back here at 1 o'clock.
Say one thing before we sing, and I'm going to invite the Supremes up one more time if they want. You don't have to get up quite yet. You can just kind of walk up and sing. This is not on the program. sure going to make Rabbi Bridget nervous because we're short on time, but I think I want us to know this. Those 13 attributes that we sang earlier, Adonai, Adonai, El Rafum B'Chanun, right? The 13 attributes which I mentioned last night, if you were here, these were the words that a shell-shocked Moses heard from God after saying, hey God, can I see you? And God says, no, but you can know my ways and these are what they are. Here's the dirty little secret. That's not where it ends. The Venake, it's not where it ends. It's not only not the end of a sentence, it's not the end of a phrase. It ends right in the middle of a phrase. In the Torah, if you read it, it goes on to say, Venake, lo yenake. God does not, nake kind of means cleanse. So God does not cleanse, according to the Torah, but instead, and you may have heard this before, visits iniquities unto the third and fourth generation and gives kindness to the thousandth generation. That's what Moses actually hears according to the narrative. So why do we lop that part off? It's been off for thousands of years. Well, the reason is our rabbis changed the tradition, and that's the moral of this story for me. This is one of the most profound texts we read. It is straight from the Torah, but it ends in this really bizarre place because the rabbis of thousands of years ago deliberately changed the meaning. Anybody who says we're doing the exact same thing that was handed down to us at Mount Sinai by God to Moses, just say to them, what about this? The tradition evolves, the tradition changes, our needs change, we need to hear something different, we needed to quote the Torah differently, and so we did. And I think that's a very important message for us today. Anybody who feels like they're lesser as a Jew because they're not doing this or that or the other thing, tradition evolves. It evolves, we evolve to meet the tradition's needs, and it evolves to meet ours.
Amen.
So whoever you are, however you are, and whoever you are, come. Shura.